war going on. I think that's what's happening. I think that's what's going
There's a
on here.
war going on.
Putin's talking again. Nobody's able to find the link to anything. I was trying to find a link to see if somebody was translating, and apparently just couldn't find it. So Putin saying some stuff. Some people were saying that there was a circulation going around that he might try to end the war, but the whole report was coming out as if like he was just going to ramp up. Because up until this point, he's kind of called it like a special operation. They haven't necessarily labeled it as a war. So if he
Yeah.
comes out and starts saying like this is now a war and we're stepping up at our full efforts, spaghetti-o, watch out on oil.
Yes, yes. But what does stepping up effort actually mean?
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to
I
know.
mean, nobody wants to know what that means.
No.
No, nobody wants to know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a screen to share with us so we can
I
talk about
do.
levels?
I do actually. So let me get this pulled up right here. Here it is.
All right.
So this is what we have here right now. So as you guys can see, actually, let me make these a little bit bigger really quickly so you guys can see them.
That's what I tell her all the time.
Okay. But when we're looking at these levels that I have drawn out here, this one right here was previous day low. So I have this one drawn out. This one was a very, very key level yesterday where the market got aggressively bought up at. And then this key level down here is the double bottom from 2 days ago. So I entered a SPY put position right after this pretty significant drop, right around here, basically using VWAP as the level that if it crossed over, the trade was then done. So the stop loss, again, 10% stop. Having that VWAP level right there for me tightens it even more, where it would have probably only been down 5. So now I'm watching this trade go. I'm talking to all the people in the market chat, just kind of going over like, okay, this is what we're seeing on the news. Be careful. The market's not looking great right now. You end up slipping down below this level, and then you have the previous day low. So my first target that I'm looking at right here is this previous day low. So I end up selling a decent portion of this position right here, right as it's coming down to that previous day low. Now, as this next candle starts to open up when we're approaching this low, you get this big knife candle coming right down to this double bottom, the previous double bottom level of 2 days ago, that key level where the market just kept getting bought up. So what I did was I didn't really want to mess around with this level here. So as this candle starts to approach that key level that I have drawn out on my chart, I'm out of my position, completely gone. Sold the rest of it, 27%. And you can see what happens after, where you see this bounce right back up to that previous day low and then another big rejection. So we were talking about this in market chat with a couple of people that you didn't necessarily, you could have held this throughout the entire time, but this is another trade right here too, especially if you're looking at it on the 3 or the 1 minute. There's another rim right there that you could have played to the downside. Now, I didn't really want to mess around with it because I had already had a really great trade on the SPY, and I don't have another level down here besides like the key psychological 380 that we could hit. So I just burned it, let it ride. But this is the importance of levels. It gives you a kind of like a tiered approach to when you want to start either taking profits or scale out of your full position for a very specific reason. You've seen price and overall sentiment react around these levels in the past, and it plays out on the charts almost every single day. I think, Gabe, we were talking about this yesterday, that a couple of the big movements that we were seeing were coming right to our levels, rejecting or bouncing right off. So having that preparation in advance is extremely helpful. And you guys have all these levels here too. I just extend them out on my Webull chart just because it's visually better for me. But if on our TradingView charts, you can just see where those levels are, you're good to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Way to go. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for all of that. Let me go ahead and get this fixed here. There we go. So how about that SPY? That SPY. I want to talk about basically that SPY call that actually ended up playing out per algo. So Invictus 2.0 did, in fact, it did call the cross. Now, 2.0 is far more accurate. Now, I went ahead and I said, you know what? I'm not going to take this play. I'm going to wait for a clear cut direction, right? Now, the SPY did cross, but immediately within 2 candles on the 5 minute, it went put side. Now, there was something that I was waiting for. Let's see. Do I have two mics on? How's my audio?
I hear you as being fine.
You hear me just fine.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. My bad. Yeah, we got two instances. My bad. Okay. All right. Now we're good, right? We're good.
Also, everybody that's in here right now, make sure you guys, these are public lives. Make sure you guys engage with these videos. Hit that like button. Get that up to 100% like ratio, especially if you guys are in the group with us. Make sure you guys hit that like button over here. I know it sounds like a bunch of nonsense, but it does help out growing growing this new channel that we have over here. So make sure you guys engage with this video. Tap that like button over there. I want to see some high numbers.
Okay. Yeah, good. All right, STV, the hype man. Good stuff. Great deflection while I'm dealing with audio issues here. Okay, so we had talked about it, and I said specifically I was waiting. I did not trust Apple, and I did not trust the SPY, and I wanted to wait for it to reverse. Excuse me, Apple or Tesla. And when Apple and Tesla makes that move down, that SPY was going to die. I don't know if you guys remember that. If you guys remember me saying that this morning, just, thumbs up. That's cool. But that was basically what I was waiting for. Right now, there's a thing, right? I'm a very, very, very conservative trader, right? And so maybe some of you guys might have taken a trade to the upside, right? With Apple or Tesla, maybe you chase that play, right? Maybe you were using your indicators that was guiding you through the play. Now, just because I say I'm not in it or I'm not chasing it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad play. It just means for me, it's way beyond my level of risk that I would like to take as a trader. You got to remember, I'm at a point of my life with my portfolio that I'm playing defensive, right? It's, wealth building. It's constant wealth building. So I'm constantly playing on the defensive. I know some of you may be very, very aggressive where you're trying to get to that level. All I'm saying is that when I'm live, I need you guys to know that I'm defaulting to the zone of risk. That's where I default to risk management, right? That's where I'm at. That's where my switch is set, right? Most importantly, I don't want to say something crazy. You guys go willy nilly, and then you fucking lose your ass, and then you hate me forever, right? So I trade very conservatively. But for those who made money on the run up and then the rejection, because the rejection was really fucking obvious.
Congratulations! All
Congratulations.
morning, I was hunting. I was like, just fucking die.
I just want to say congratulations, and STV and I are very, very, very proud of you. Good stuff. But STV is also driving home. Okay. Is that levels are everything. Levels are absolutely everything. So I'm sure he has more to add to this. If we want to go ahead. So you use primarily Webull, STV?
It's just visually appealing to me because I like to draw out stuff on the charts too. I use both of them. So I always have both charts up. And if I put everything on one chart, it gets too clouded. So I'll just have two charts up where I'm looking at basically the same thing, just in slightly different. Like if I also had RSI, ADX, MACD, and all the other stuff on this one, it would just confuse me a little bit. And I try to make things as simple as possible. So if I need to look at something else, I'll flip back and forth between the two charts. That's just what I like to do. But Gabe, I did give everybody in the morning stream a little bit of a I'd call it a tip on entering trades to think in a way almost more conservative too. And what we were saying was what you have to do when you're entering a trade is you have the way to think about it is after you enter the trade, think like you then have to go explain why you entered that trade to somebody. Why did that meet all of the rules? Why are you entering this trade? And we took it a step further and we said, okay, to make it a little bit more aggressive, the person that you're explaining the trade to is Gabe. What would Gabe think if you were entering the trade right now? Because everybody always likes to say they have Gabe's like voice in their head, like that she's giving you more than you deserve, secure the bag. And I think a lot of people were starting to use that and they were like, well, I probably wouldn't have taken that trade because I'm chasing it here. If I had to explain that, it doesn't make any sense as to why I'm actually taking that trade.
Well, I mean, okay. I get a bunch of text messages coming in. Well, first off, I think. Okay, so we go back to the Oda Dodge of like, make sure you don't lose money. When you focus on not losing money, then the opposite is true,
Right.
right? When and also I'm talking from personal experience, like, when I see something run and then, people get excited and begin to jump into that play. I'm really thinking about the other side the guy on the other side of that play.
Mhm.
I'm thinking like, he's literally laughing. Like the guy's just laughing, like, "Oh, these idiots," you know, because you have to think about it. When something runs up in the way it does, right? Do you think the guy that, or the group of individuals or the institutions, do you think like in their mind they're saying, "Yeah, that's the valuation we want for this company right now"? No.
No,
No,
no.
right? They're like, all right, well, we're going to play into the whole concept of price discovery, and we're about to find out.
There's
And-
always like a running joke that like when these large financial institutions like downgrade a stock, it's them trying to artificially suppress it so they can buy it at a lower
exactly.
price.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I firmly believe. And when I see things act unnaturally, like if we can go into, for instance, Apple, this screamed very, very unnatural movement to me. Let me see if I could get you on screen here.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll stop screen sharing here.
all right, let me. All right, there we go. So let me bring you here and here. Okay, I needed to know, and this is what I was trying to understand, right? Understanding that Apple is a tech stock, and understanding how, uh, you know, the yields and the fear of inflation, how that affects tech stocks, and how this just doesn't make sense, and how this was just, it was almost randomly picked, right? Because if let's go ahead and look at, for instance, AMD. Was AMD running?
I
No.
don't believe so. No, I mean we were on that Apple trade this morning to the upside, and I got out pretty quick. Like well before it became like very irrational. We were talking about that one, and then once it started to go, we were just sitting there like, or I personally, I was sitting there like, no, it's coming down. It was
Yeah,
screaming
yeah.
lucid vibes at me like from last Friday.
I mean, I was sitting there like, this doesn't make sense. I mean, you go ahead and you compare it to the likes of, like, let's say Nvidia, then we go to Microsoft, right? It almost seemed that, well, and you guys found it. You guys found it courtesy of the alerts. Now, this is Microsoft here, right? But you found Apple and you found Tesla courtesy of the alerts, and you immediately found that these two stocks were very much in just run mode, and it would make sense, right? So Tesla is a very, very, very popular stock, right? And then Apple a very, very, very popular just by virtue of being in the news recently, right? So, yeah, all retail eyes were on these plays, right? It makes sense.
Hmm.
So you go ahead and you overextend this, and then you just drop the bag on them. I think that is. I talk about how institutions and these guys. We're retail. We're literally caught in a crossfire right now. But I have this idea how institutions weaponize the dollar and they're literally just fighting each other. They're at war with each other. Everyone's sort of kind of like scrapping with each other right now. You see,
Hmm.
um, seeing who gets who, because we don't know where the bottom is. I think that as of right now, if no one knows where the bottom is, and obviously the idea is to make money. I think that's a lot of what we're seeing, and just retail happens to be in the crossfire of that. But I did not trust Apple, and I really feel bad for the group of individuals who bought at the top here.
It's emotions. It's like that is so like that is such an emotional trade at that point. Like there's one opportunity there, or there's a few opportunities where you could have played the rims up. In my
Yeah,
mind, though, it's that rejection back down is gonna be so much simpler to play than trying to chase it up.
yeah,
Like, even when I was in my apples, I was like, "Alright, well, I'm just gonna" like, the put side, I was like, even then, it's like a quick trade, and it's very high probability because you're thinking about, like, where are these buyers coming from? It's like the buyers can't last forever. Like, as you continue to raise the price on something, there are going to be more people willing to sell. That's just how
yeah.
it is. As price goes up, more people are gonna be willing to sell. As price goes down, more people are gonna be willing to buy. It's just how far are you going to go before that more willing to buy or sell actually becomes an action of buying and selling? And
Yeah.
that's what those levels are really good at telling you.
So I have a question, and the only reason why I have this question is because it's something I'm noticing and I'm seeing right now, right? The price action of SPY and Apple seems to be reattached. So Apple had a pop up, and you could see SPY is having nearly that same type of candle, right? Why would it be that the SPY would be attached to Apple price movement this afternoon, but not this morning?
I would say that the irrational buying has fizzled out. So those buyers, whoever was chasing it to the upside, are no longer in the marketplace. They've filled all their orders, they've done what they need to do, and that's it. So then when you go back to sort of like more normal price action, it'll link right back up because it's still such a large component. I think it's the largest component of the S&P too, still.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I actually, yeah, I do agree with you on that one, 500%. So, guys, while you're here, I'm sure a lot of you made money on the way down this morning. I think a lot of you were waiting for that, right? Um, so, I guess the next question for you guys in the community is any tickers that caught you off guard? Or, no, how about this? Let's do things differently. How about um, you you entered a play, you made money, but what I want to know is why did you enter the play? I think yes.
That's a
So
really good way to do it.
yeah,
That's kinda
I
what we were
want to
talking about this morning. Like,
yeah.
you have to know why you're entering, and if you can explain, like, verbally to somebody else why you're entering a trade, I think that's very helpful because it'll stop you from, like, chasing Apple on the way up today. Like, if you had to actually say, "It's going up, so I'm going to buy calls," I think you'd think to yourself, "That's probably a dumb thing to do."
Again, I think we talked about the quote that I posted on Twitter. It's like uh, the market tends to do exactly opposite of what you think it's going to do, right?
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon. It's damn near law at this point. And so again, when I see things running, I ask myself, like, do I want to make money? Yes, I want to make money, right? Um, is it in my favor to make money right now? Well, if I missed a majority of the move, chances are no, it's not. right?
Mhm.
When will it be in my favor? It will be in my favor when it comes back down. Remember, that train has to come all the way around, right? So you just wait for that train to come, make that loop, and come right back down. And you're still making money, except you're just making it to the downside. And I feel like with something like Apple and with Tesla, I just think my instincts just kick in. Like, do I want to make money? Yes, but I'm not intrigued or swayed by the run. If anything, those
Mhm.
runs make me really, really nervous. But again, I know that once what goes up must come down, and so that's why I would enter the trade, because we know it's become overextended to the upside, and we go back to what makes a stock price go down, and it's profit taking and fear of loss.
Mhm.
That's really it. That's what makes it go down. So that's really all I wait for, and that's um, for me. I just try to keep it very, very, very simple as far as even my own mechanics, because I don't ever want to find myself overthinking a trade, right? Um, I don't ever want to find myself overthinking a trade. So by virtue of that, I know, like, if I miss that train, I miss that train. I just catch it on the way down. Keep it super simple for me, right? If the indicators say, like, yeah, Gabe, the train's coming back around, it's like, woo, all right, yeah, I'm gonna catch my train, but you know, I'm going somewhere else with it. So
I
um,
love those reversals, man. The reversals are awesome. I just think they're more high probability. Like, seeing those stocks go on those irrational moves up, for almost no reason. Like if it like Apple, I don't think had any crazy news today. It did like the market wasn't ripping. Like what the hell was going on with Apple? That's kind of how I view it. It's like, what is the reason for why it's running? If there's no concrete reason, you're probably in for a nice reversal at some point during the day. It just depends. It's going to be variable on how big that's going to be. Is it going to be a
yeah,
crazy tank like Lucid, or is it going to be a little bit of a sell off like Apple did today, where you can hit a nice little 20% gainer?
yeah, yeah. You know what I used to love, with the penny stocks that would get pumped, and then you would go on like Seeking Alpha or somewhere, and the CEO would say, like, we're unaware of any news or anything that would
Mhm.
cause our stock to do such and such. Yeah, and I would literally laugh at that, because you're catching even the CEOs are like a little caught off guard, like, hey, what just happened? Well, Mr. Zach fucking Morris just happened. That's what happened. And he sent everybody over to the stock, right? But then
Mhm.
what tends to happen over a couple of days is that the stock does pump, but then it falls back down, to its normal range,
It's like
right?
you were talking about yesterday. It's like when you look at the chart, it's physics. It's just gravity. What goes up must come down.
Yeah.
It's not like we're in zero gravity over here where if you push something in one direction, it just keeps going forever. You're gonna
No,
get
it
pulled
never
back down
happens
to
that way.
earth.
It never happens that way. And so I think what we want to do is just wrap this up with this, guys. If you don't believe in levels, then you're missing a big part of this system. Okay. Levels are your friend. Levels are basically your step by steps on how to bake a cake. Right? I mean, literally, if it breaks this level, look at this level. Breaks that level, look at this level, so on and so forth. These are your step by steps on how to make a cake. And we have them drawn out for you with our charts. It's not something that you say, okay, well, I see a level there, like, whatever. No, they're there not only for present time, but the most powerful levels are the levels that have shown themselves previously.
Mhm.
All right. Especially when you don't have a level markup anywhere. Okay. Immediately you zoom out of the chart, and we're looking at the SPY here. We could see this area immediately. This area right here. Look at this. You have one, two, three, four levels in its vicinity right here.
Mhm.
This is literally telling you that this is an interesting zone, an interesting area of which she could reject from. Okay. Um, I always tell you guys I like to find levels relative to price action. So here we have the SPY. It bounced off this level at 381. Now let's go ahead and find that level, right? And we don't find that level within the past 7 trading days. We can go to the 4 hour of the daily to see where that level is, right? Because there's always a reason for a bounce, always a reason for a bounce.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at this here, we could draw a level right there. And it's fairly close to this level here. Fairly close to this level here, which we look at it here. No, it's actually not. Let's see.
It looks
We're
I've
trying
done
to
that too, where I'm like, "Oh, it looks like it's this one," and then it's like $10 away, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's not the one."
yeah, because you're on the daily here,
Yeah,
but let's see. Yeah, there you go. At or about here,
yeah.
we could assume that this would be a good level to respect. So then let's bring her back on over to the 5 minute, right? And so it's literally there. It didn't come all the way down to the 380.37 as we would expect, but we knew that it was there somewhere. And if we go through previous moments in time, you could say, okay, well, every single time she came down this far, she bounced up.
Mhm.
You know, and you see that. So you're able to infer at some point if you're in on this put that honestly, honest to God, if you're in on this put and you see you've come down to this level and you've made a lot of money, I mean, are you going to try to squeeze every drop out of the move? I
That's
mean,
why
I
I
don't think.
ditched it. That's why I ditched mine at the level that I had, because I was like, "This has moved down so much." It's like, "What are we doing here?" It's like, "You're at a key level. Get the fuck out."
Yeah, 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 at a level. So levels are your friends, guys. They will give you so much guidance through the play. They're going to, really keep you in check too. I think that is the most important part. You know,
Mhm,
as you ever heard the saying growing up, STV? It's better to be safe than sorry.
mhm.
You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is my entire trading motto.
Mhm,
Better to be safe than sorry. Like, yeah, there are people who probably will make more money than me on a specific trade. But the thing is that I know over time, by virtue of me being methodical, that my portfolio would grow much faster.
mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And it's all about velocity, guys. Okay. Don't worry about leaving money on the table. You know, um, the minute you flinch, it could be all over for you. Like
Mhm.
the play just reverses on you, and you're just like, "Fuck! I should have took my money, right? Or why didn't I take it here?" And the thing is that ultimately, the ultimate goal is for you guys to develop those good habits that at levels you're constantly checking them. I think that ultimately that is the goal where you are constantly checking your levels. And if you close your position, you close your position. So what? Right? We got more plays coming. Right?
Exactly.
We're not other discords where you only get 1 or 2 plays a day from us.
Yeah, that's nonsense. Here's one.
This
Nonsense.
is what I'm doing.
Follow me.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving you guys real time actionable alerts with real time data, and you're always going to have plays coming.
Mhm,
So if you see a level and you secure the bag, see the level, secure the bag, keep it moving. That's it, right? But you're building that skill set, and you're building that repetition. That over time, again, it becomes so methodical that you outperform your peers.
mhm.
That's it. That is it. Anything else you want to add, STB?
I think, I think be careful going into the end of the day. It looks like we're getting another nonsense bullshit pump. Um, it is what it is. The market likes to do all this nonsense towards the end of the day. We got Powell tomorrow. I mean, maybe I'll try to scalp some stuff like 11. But other than that, I'm really just going to be waiting on what the rate hike's going to be, what the statements from Powell are, and then how I see those things going in the future and how the market ends up reacting. So kind of sit on your hands, wait to see what's going to happen. Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's a very big day for the market.
Tomorrow should be fun.
I love when Powell opens his mouth.
Yeah. You think we see 370s tomorrow?
If it's a 100 basis point hike with Powell the Hawk coming out, oh yeah. If it's 100, I think we see 360s.
You think at 360s if we see the hundreds?
If we see a 100 basis point hike, I think we see 360s.
So
Like a filthy move down is what I would say it would do.
Wow. So you're talking like a 5-6% move to the downside tomorrow.
Well, I mean, it depends on where we finish. If we close around 380, then it would be because then it messes with my prediction. But I think we could see a over 3% move, like 3.5 if it's a 100.
Okay.
So low 370s, high 360s, I think is what we could see if it's a 100.
Yeah, that's where I'm going for. I'm going for like the 378s, 375s. I'm thinking, tomorrow. Don't take our word for it, guys. We don't have a crystal ball. It's just, for our own mental. We're like, yeah, that's a fun target.
Go on Twitter after Powell comes out, and there's going to be everybody and their mother saying that, oh my God, my chart said this was going to happen. And you know what you guys can tell them? Go fuck yourself. You're an asshole. You have no idea what you're talking about. Your chart doesn't predict every fucking word that Powell is going to say. You dumbass. Sorry, I had to let that one out after what happened with
Who
CPI.
is this kid? I feel like I birthed him. I feel like I birthed this kid. His growth has been phenomenal. He's like, go fuck yourself. I love it.
When people were saying that their charts were saying that X was going to happen because of CPI after it happened, but the day before everybody was saying that the market was going to bounce off of it, I was like, this is nonsense. I was like, so suddenly you all had puts now. People are just idiots. That's what I've come to the conclusion that it's just people are morons.
I'm not what is 305. I don't think we see a spy pump. I think all that was a retracement to the 48. As it stands right now, RSI is at 66. But I don't see it gaining any more steam beyond that, right? We start seeing that RSI curl back down. And if MACD doesn't catch above neutral before market close, guys, I mean, you're not going to see the pump that we've seen, the previous trading days. So this actually will be a fun time because I feel like it gives us like, a unit of measurement, right? So, let's say we close at 382, it's like, all right, unit of measurement. If we close at 382, we get a little bit of a gap down to 380, 279. I really think that dictates the rest of the day tomorrow. So let's see what happens.
Let's see.
All right. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Peace out.